Alejandro Garnacho is going to be leaving Manchester United, and this has just been confirmed. By the news that we have heard today from Dave Ornstein. Of course, we know Dave Ornstein is a tier 1 reporter. When it comes to Manchester United, he takes his time and makes the reports. And usually, for the most part, those reports are actually spot on. And he comes out today and basically gives us a huge news that Ruben Amorim had conversations with his entirety of the squad. And within that conversation, he told them that he is going to be here as the manager of Manchester United next season. And with that same breath, said that Alejandro Garnacho needs to find a new club for himself in the summer. This is massive. And of course, this also comes with the back context of what has been going on between Manchester United and Garnacho. You have seen in January, he was basically being shopped. I believe this was also the situation that Ruben Amorim has looked at the player and seen that this player doesn't really fit my system. Plus the fact that he has had a ton of problems with Erik ten Hag, because the moment Erik ten Hag arrived at Manchester United, he had to discipline Garnacho during the pre-season, because Garnacho was late for meetings. He had to discipline him on that situation, but then Garnacho bounced back, which is a really good sign from the kid. And then you saw a situation yet again with Garnacho liking stuff on Instagram or on Twitter that are basically criticizing the manager of Manchester United, be it Erik ten Hag or Ruben Amorim. This has basically been reoccurring, and it is a problem that Manchester United needed to fix. They needed to actually attend to. And now you are seeing basically the last straw. After the Europa League final, Garnacho came out and basically, with not the direct of terms, criticized Ruben Amorim's decision for him being on the bench and not starting the Europa League final. Now, don't get me wrong, I've said it so many times that I believed Garnacho should have started that, and Ruben Amorim made a mistake in the lineup. However, Amorim made a really good point. He says substitutions are meant to come and change the game. And so when he brings you in, no matter what it is, you have to be looking to do just that. We saw Mason Mount do that exact thing against Bilbao, coming in and scoring 2 goals that basically literally took the game away from Bilbao. But just not that. He says he even then pointed out who missed the first big chance against Bilbao in the first half in the semi-finals, and it was Garnacho. And so this situation has basically got to a boiling point where I believe that there is really no coming back from. Garnacho is a talented player that I've actually loved watching. He is a bag of talent. However, this team has a lot of players that are focused on becoming superstars and not focused on winning. And I'm going to say this very carefully, because that has been a huge problem for Manchester United ever since Sir Alex left the dugout. It has been a lot of players that want to use Manchester United to gain their infamous nature, to gain their fame, to gain plaudits, but in the same breath are not realizing that if they win as a team, then you become a superstar. Once your skills and your talent shines through, it's going to happen. But what we are seeing in Manchester United right now, in that locker room especially, it has a lot of hero balls happening, a lot of I want to be the guy to make it happen, a lot of I am the best player here, so I should be playing, a lot of I deserve. And they don't realize the greatness and the honor it is to put on that shirt and put on that badge to play for Manchester United. And so what is going to be happening in this summer is going to be a huge rebuild. It is going to be a huge rebuild, and this rebuild is not going to sit off we're just going to tear down the top from the first floor down, or from the first floor up. It's going to be, we are going to also tear down and tear up the foundations of this team. We have seen a lot of teams, a lot of things happening in quarantine, and a lot of redundancies being done. I believe we are calculating about 620 redundancies since Ineos have come, and the players have always been shielded from this situation. This summer, what just happened against Spurs at the Europa final, and also this Premier League placement that we are at, I'm telling you, heads has to roll in that dressing room. I'm already looking at around 15 players that probably will be out of Manchester United. For the likes of Andre Onana is on thin shells in my mind. Lindelof is leaving. I believe Harry Maguire might be leaving. Luke Shaw should be leaving. Johnny Evans probably leaving. What's his name? Casemiro should be leaving. That's 6 people. Eriksen should be leaving. Rashford will be leaving. Sancho, Anthony, that's 10 that I just mentioned, probably are leaving in this situation that we are speaking right now. You are going to be seeing the likes of, what's his name? I just have 10 players right now, but I believe that 6 extra might be taking off. And Garnacho, I did not even mention Garnacho. Garnacho too will be leaving. So this is a team that would need a huge rebuild. Now we do not have the money to do this in one season. So it will be a creative addition to this team. However, I looked at this Garnacho situation and I asked myself, I was like, wait, what exactly is the problem, and what can we do to bring somebody that would not only be able to play in that position, but would actually do it better, would have a lot more experiences in putting the ball in the back of the net, would have a lot more experience in big games and decision making. And then it just dawned on me, Rodrigo from Real Madrid has always wanted to play on the left hand side, has always wanted to be in that position, but because there is Vini and Mbappe, he's never touted to play in that position. And so I think he might be a really good option to bring in. Now, he might be very expensive. I haven't done that. I'm going to make a video about people that could replace Garnacho in the future, so you guys watch out for that. But I think he is a good shout for that position. For instance, Jonah Bakayoko of PSV, another really dynamic winger that could be turned into a 10, has a lot of explosivity, dribbles very well, carries the ball immensely, and has an eye for goal, and also, most importantly, an eye for assist first. And that is where I think Manchester United can start doing magic, just finding those deals that nobody wants to do. Of course, we have seen Paratici do it for Tottenham. Nobody knew about Romero. Romero right now is the MVP of the Europa League. Nobody knew of Udogi. He's a really good player for Spurs. Nobody knew of Papasa, really good player for Spurs. All those kind of things are the things that we need to do. And then you also have to look at Nico Williams. Barcelona has basically pulled out of the race for Nico Williams, especially after he did not go in the summer. I think this is an opportunity for Manchester United to step in. I know it is very hard discussing deals with the Basque country. They do not, especially Athletic Club, they do not want to sell any of their players because of their transfer policy. However, I believe that Nico Williams is looking for something. He's looking for a step up. He's looking for a home, and that can be Old Trafford. That can be Manchester United. This is going to be a huge season for us and a huge transfer window. I can't wait to talk about it. However, I have to also say this. Ruben Amorim talking about Garnacho and him finding a new club in front players in front of the entire team can do two things. It could lose players because of the harshness of that decision of just telling people in front of every single person, and not just taking Garnacho to his office and talking to Garnacho over there and telling him, hey, I think your race has been run at Old Trafford, let's find a new club. But doing it in front of the team might rub off some people wrongly. But there's also another side to it. There's also the side of, I am trying my hardest to grab a hold of this dressing room, and if it goes that way, we would see Ruben Amorim being able to actually coach in a lot of his system, coach in a lot of things that he wants this thing to be able to do, and will put the fear of God into these players when they realize that Ruben Amorim has the backing of the owners and he is not going anywhere. And so we have to do our jobs and we have to do it really well. So those are the things that could go positively and negatively for this particular situation. We are yet to see how it goes. We are playing Aston Villa tomorrow, so that is going to be interesting. However, I think this has been a big one. Let me know what you guys think about this situation down in the comments. I will see you guys in the next one. Hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't, because I know a lot of people watch the videos but do not hit the subscribe button. It does help us big time and shows the algorithm that you love the content that we provide here on Pillar Sports. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.